All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Well Done Wednesdays. As y'all can see, we are still outside. We are in California, outside and inside. So, good afternoon to everybody. Good evening, good night before you get ready to turn those brains off in prayer for those that are out on the East Coast. We are so glad that you all are in the room with us tonight. Whether you're live or on the replay, we are happy that you are here. So tonight, our co host is Coach Jocquice Spikes, and we are so thankful. Coach Jay, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend some time with us on tonight. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate that. If you would do us the honor of giving us a little introduction for those who don't know you, and those who may have known the old Jay that need to get reintroduced to the new Coach Jay. Give us a little bit about yourself. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go grab some other women, let them know that we are live and that they can come on in the room. So, Coach Jay, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you so much, April, for having me. This is a fabulous honor. Love what you're doing. Love your platform. Love what it's all about, right? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jocquice. I go by Jay Spikes. I am a coach. I am currently, I'm a corporate coach, a corporate career coach, excuse me. I'm also currently in corporate America. I will have 26 years. It's crazy. This Friday, ironically. So I am running my own business, Hat Consulting, which is a career coaching business for women. And I specialize in the woman who not necessarily has it all together. If you want to put it in a word or a phrase, it's untapped potential. So if you're that woman and you know you have it in you, but yet you continue to be passed up for promotion after promotion, opportunity after opportunity, the visibility isn't there, but yet you're the go-to woman. You have the talent, you're there, they're coming to you, but yet you keep getting bypassed and you don't know why. That's what I specialize in. Why? Because that was me 20 some odd years ago.
Wow.
In America. So so that's what I specialize in. And check me out on wisehatconsulting.com. That's where you can find out more about me. But I had some pivotal moments in my life and in my career with God. And it just completely changed the trajectory of my mindset and my career. And my responsibility now is to pay it forward and to not let another woman who feels like she's untapped potential to continue to just be untapped. And so that's me. Thank you for having me, April.
That is so good. That is so good. It's like, whoa, I need to go deeper. Hold on, Jay. Hold on. We outside and my paper flew away. This is real life. Real life. Where is production? Production, we need y'all. Okay, so that just, when I was going over, now we met during the pandemic, right? And you find other women and you're in groups and you're in organizations together, but you don't get connected with everyone, right? And I'm so thankful that we got connected and we stayed connected. But really, until doing your bio for this is when I really learned about all that Coach Jay is all about. And I was like, come on, Jesus, I didn't even know this piece. And you said to get her on the show, like, he knows all the things. And so I was just so thankful because I know I've needed you in this space. And I know that there are so many other women that need you as well, your coaching and your guidance. I believe that everybody needs a good coach. Even if you're a coach out here in these streets, you still need a good coach, right? Yeah. And so we're going to do our lightning round questions just to give everybody a chance to get in the room, just to give you a chance to loosen up and get ready to flow and just share with us what it is that you have for us. And that was another thing, another pivot that we've kind of done with the Well Done Wednesdays. Of course, our focus is self-care, right? We believe that self-care over here in the Renewed and Refined Woman It's putting God first in everything that we do and allowing him to show us how to put ourselves higher on our get to do list. Because self-care isn't just something you do every now and then. We got to take good care of ourselves every single day.
That's right.
And showing up in the workplace, our best selves, is one of the ways that we do that as well. Okay. And so, first question.
Okay.
How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
That's a good one. Okay.
Tell us what your husband would tell us.
Ooh, okay. I would say a good hour. A good hour. And that's because, see, it depends on what kind of day I'm gonna have, April.
Okay. A work day.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even in a work day, because there's some days where I have heavy video calls, and so that's that hour, right?
Okay.
And when it's gonna be like laid back, and then I can get ready in like 30 minutes. It's up and go. Right.
Okay.
So, but on average, if I really want to just, take the time, because I love putting my makeup on, I love playing with my hair, I love clothing. Fashion is one of my, passions. So a good hour.
Okay. All right. Oh, and happy early anniversary, workversary. Happy early. Yeah.
That time went by.
Right.
Crazy.
But it's coming to be at the same place for all those years like that.
Well, here's the thing. Let me just share this. To be honest with you, when I started I won't mention where I work at, because we're here for us, right? But when I started that job, I had no intentions on staying there 26. I mean, it's been 26 years. I was just leaving because one company was paying more than the other. That was it.
Wow.
And here, God took that, though. He took that because I'll tell you a little bit of history with that question. The thing is that I was bouncing from job to job because I felt like the managers there, I would get so far and then I would hit like a brick wall. And I always pointed the finger at them, something wrong with them. They're tripping. It's their problem. And at the end of the day, what God showed me, no, honey, it's you. It's your attitude. It's your disposition. It's your mouth. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way you treat your peers. It's the way you show up late almost every single day, right? And you want to leave early. Oh, this was me. I'm going to tell all on myself. Right? So it was me that had the problem. And I had to have that, as people call, come to Jesus moment. When I really did come to him and figure out, oh, it's actually me and I need to change. And this is how Wise Hat was born all those many years ago. I need to change my habits, associations, and thoughts, because that's what the hat stands for, right?
Habits, associations, and thoughts. Are y'all taking notes? Because I know everybody in here is an entrepreneur, and even if you are an entrepreneur, you need to show up, and you might need to switch your head around in your own business. Okay, y'all get them pencils and paper out and take these notes, because Jaden came out the gate swinging already. We just in the lightning round questions.
I'm just telling on myself, right?
Girl.
I mean, but it's the truth. I was the one. You couldn't tell me anything at work. I could not be corrected. There was no coaching, right? Because no, I don't have the problem. You have the problem. I had a huge chip on my shoulder. I felt like, there was a lot going on at that time. I was in my 20s, I had a lot to, like I was carrying because I was young and I had a lot to prove in my mind. Oh, that I can make it, that I could be this person, right? Be successful. So I had a lot of things that I was carrying, insecurities and all of that I brought into work with me. And I let it get in the way of my success. I would always make it so far and then boom. And finally, I had people tell me along the way, April, to be honest, it's you have a bad attitude. I just would never believe them. I thought,
really?
No. Yeah. I was denial, right? Serious denial.
Wow.
So I know we're supposed to be doing lightning round, but anyway.
But that is so good. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Oh, I am an excellent driver.
drinking California streets. Okay.
I'm gonna give myself a 10. Now my husband, he might give me an 8. Because I do like to drive fast. I'm not gonna lie. I love fast cars. This is one of the things we have in common. So he loves classic cars. He has a few of them. I love getting in a car and like just letting it roll, like, but I'm not one of those people that you see flying down the freeway like a fool. I'm not that. I just love, if I need speed, if I need to have it at a certain point, I love having a car that'll do it. Right. Wow. So, but I have not gotten a ticket. Oh my God. And thank God. I haven't gotten a ticket since I was, about 30 years ago is the last time I got a moving violation. It was a speeding ticket. I lived in Union City. So for those of you from the Bay Area, at the time I lived in Union City and I worked in Roanoke Park, which is way up north. You're talking over an hour drive each way. And so I was speeding to work. But anyway,
and still
I would give myself a 10.
Still late, speeding and still late every day.
Yeah.
We thank God for a change.
Yes, Lord.
Yes. Okay. At what age do you want to retire?
Since
we talking about work.
To be honest with you, I would love to retire in about 5 years. So at age, I'll be 50. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'll be 50 in a couple of months. So, I would love to retire at 55. That's my ideal. I don't want to wait. I don't want to be like my parents were in their 70s and late 60s. Nothing wrong with that. That was their journey, but they worked really hard, right? And so for me, I want to still, enjoy my life and still feel somewhat young while I'm doing it. And I'm not, age is just a number. So I'm not saying you're old if you're 60. Anybody on here over that? I'm not saying that. Don't shoot the messenger. But for me, that would be ideal. Now, is that really going to happen? We'll see. God can do it, right? I'm not doubting him. But I mean, my dream age, 55. In 5 years, I want to be retired.
You got this 26 years in. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
sounds like it is very doable. So I'm excited for you for that. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip. I'm one of those weird. I'm not gonna call it weird, but it's a different flavor. Most people either you love it or you hate it.
Right.
I love it. And I love the green kind and the vanilla based kind because you really if you're doing it the right way. Oh yeah, see the green is the food coloring. So if you're doing it the right way, it looks like it's vanilla ice cream with chocolate chips in it, but when you taste it, it's actually mint. So it's my favorite. It's so good.
Sisters, did y'all know that about this mint chocolate chip ice cream? Did y'all know that? Jay is dropping all sorts of gems out here today. Black beans or refried beans in your burrito?
Oh my God. Okay, I have to go with black because that's what I mostly eat. But I love refried beans too.
Okay. All right. Last question. And this is going to lead into, I'll just do this question first. If you could push a button and make everyone in the world 7% happier, but it would also place a worldwide ban on all of your hair products, would you push it?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
James, like, y'all gonna have to find y'all own happy. Y'all gonna have to do.
Listen, happiness is based on happenings. So
so the next question was leading into what makes you happy.
Doing this, I love doing this. Teaching is. And this is what has brought me joy, even in my corporate job this long, right? Is teaching people and helping them become better versions of themselves, right? Pushing them, stretching them, watching them grow, watching the light bulbs go off for them, sharing information that people wouldn't otherwise know. I'm a forever learner. You
Right.
can't quite see behind me, but if I turn this camera just a little bit, you're going to see a bookshelf full of books. I have them everywhere. I love to read, love to learn. So those kind of things make me happy. I'm spending time with my husband, obviously, and my family. We have 7 grandbabies. So there, yes.
What
So there's that. Yep. I love spending time with them. They're between 14 and I think the youngest is 1.
Wow.
So
you got all the feels.
Yes. So that, and then ultimately happy from a place perspective, my happy place, I love the beach. So anywhere where there's a nice, warm beach, give me that and a book, plop my husband down next to me.
Right.
No kids at the beach now. And I'm good.
Jay, is there a beach? Is there a beach close here? Like on my way, like between?
Well, yes, no? But to be honest, well, I mean, no one really goes to the beach in San Francisco, April. Like, I mean, it's there. I mean, people. Let me say this: people in San Francisco go to those beaches, but those aren't the beautiful beaches I'm referring to. I'm referring to the warm ones, like in LA and Santa Monica down south. But ideally for me, it's the Caribbean or Hawaii. Drop me off in one of those locations. Gotcha. And you don't ever have to come back and look for me. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so I'm trying to find a retreat space here in California for the ladies. And with
the beach?
Huh?
With the beach nearby?
Yeah, with the beach nearby.
Do you care if it's warm?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean,
so Monterey.
Walk and maybe put your feet in. Yeah.
Check out Monterey or Carmel. Those are both close by. I mean, it's not necessarily going to be hot. Santa Cruz might be a close third. It's all in the same area.
Gotcha.
But Monterey and Carmel. Carmel is beautiful. So, yeah.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. And so that what I keep saying over and over again is that's also self-care. Learning and finding out what makes you happy and doing more of that. And unapologetically, right? That's so what if the grandkids can't go? The kids are not allowed here, right? But that is your happy place. That's a boundary, right? That's one of the B words that has, come up. That boundary, it's not a bad word for real. It's okay to set boundaries. They are needed. They are needed. And so going back, rerouting, going back to the wise hat, right? And so when you were growing up and just getting started, I'm guessing you didn't have who you are to these women now. You didn't have that, right?
Oh, no, ma'am. Not at all.
So if you could speak to one of the ladies that's on here, I'll say one of the younger ladies, right? Who's just, you're 26 years in this, heading for retirement. But if you could speak to her, and even younger Coach Jay, what would you say?
A couple of things. So I have a list. I didn't know you were going to ask me this. So I asked God before we got on here, what do you want me to share?
And see, that's why I said that yesterday, Jay. See what I mean?
Yep.
God knows.
He knows. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And I didn't know how I was going to bring them up. But this question is that thing. So number 1, and this is right in line with your platform and everything. Number 1, we hear a lot of people talk about, we hear it all over, work-life balance, balance. Number 1, that does not exist. Let me make sure I'm looking straight to the camera. It does not exist. Let that pressure go. You will never, ever have work and life doing this.
Right.
Number 1, you have one life and you happen to work in that life. Number 1. So there's nothing to try to bring it this way. It's your life, right? And what you should be seeking is more of harmony, is what I like to call it. And I give people a visual of a symphony. So if you've ever been to a play or an orchestra where they had a live band or a symphony, there's a bunch of instruments and they all play their own tune, but together they come together and they make this beautiful sound, right?
Right.
And then occasionally there might be a solo with the flute or something like that, you know, the cello, whatever. And so that's how your life needs to be when it comes to work in your family, right? Because again, it's just your life. It's not work life, it's life. And so that's the number one thing, because I had absolutely zero. I didn't understand. I was always pursuing this work-life balance, and I was under this pressure, and I had all this guilt on me because I loved what I was doing. I spent a lot of time doing it, and I didn't have any. And this is the next thing I was going to talk about: healthy boundaries. So you already said the B word. I didn't have any healthy boundaries in the workplace because they need to happen there too. I didn't have any healthy boundaries in my personal life. Oh, they need to happen there too, even with your spouse, even with your children. And so I didn't know how to establish that. And so I carried this extra stress and weight. I used to be so tense right in here, April. Every time I would go get a massage, I remember this one lady, her name was Elga. I think her name was Elga. And she was like, oh my God. She was almost in tears because she could feel the knot that were in my neck and my shoulders, because that was where I carried all this.
You were holding all of that.
Just holding it, thinking that I'm a failure because I have this family that I love. I have this job that I love, and I'm not doing a good job of making it do this.
And see, that's one of the things that I dislike. I love me some social media, but one of the things I dislike about social media is the comparison piece, right? Yes. We're out here comparing apples to oranges, and they can't compete one with the other. We're out here comparing our life to another person, another woman's life, when we don't know, right? You may were looking like you had it all together, trying to balance all the things, but you were so tense, right? Yeah. So tense, literally making your own body sick.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's first. Work-life balance doesn't exist. Don't strive for it. Look for harmony. We can be here in another hour. We don't have that time to get into the nuts and bolts of that, but just know that it doesn't exist. You don't need to strive for it. Number one. Number two, this is the thing. So I was saying earlier how I wasn't coachable. You couldn't tell me anything early on in my career. Here's another thing you hear. And this makes me so upset when I see people talk about it. And it's to bring your authentic self to work. Bring your authentic self to work. Show up 100% you.
Right.
Let me tell you something. If if I brought all of me, not Jay, Jocquice, okay, to work, I would have been fired probably 24, 25 and a half years ago.
Right. They were not ready.
You cannot deal authentically. And I'm not saying don't be you. Here's the thing. This is where people, this is the thing that I think we save these beautiful cliches and then we take it off, right? And it takes off and people think, oh, you have to accept me for who I am. And you're showing up to a job to do a service. They're paying you to provide a service. You're stepping into their culture, and I'm not saying you can't champion change, but what I am saying is there's a certain ebb and flow. There's certain processes and certain ways that they operate. And if you walk into that atmosphere thinking that you're going to deal with people there the way you deal with your uncle and your aunt, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your husband, your children, it's not going to work. So that's what I mean. Not going to work, right? That's what I mean about that. It's you cannot bring your authentic self. Now I'm me. Everyone knows who I am, what I love, what I like, and all those things. So I'm not hiding that at all, right? In that way, I'm showing up. But there is a professionalism that I bring to the table that's required of me as an employee of that specific company. And so that's what I mean about the authentic piece. So the way I'm going to tell you off at work is not the way I'm going to do it if I'm having a debate with my children or with my husband. That's what I'm saying. So
thank you for breaking that down, Yeah. It's just, it's not doable. You can't. They're, like you said, they're not ready for the real. And I'm glad you said that you can't handle that. You can't, it's not the same.
It's not the same. It is not.
It's not.
A lot of people get that mixed up. So that's number two. Number three, we already talked about a little bit. Healthy boundaries in the workplace are a thing. You can't sit there. So this to the women who are the go-to woman. Everybody comes to you for everything. You're super talented. You know everybody's job, but yet you're not being promoted.
And
yet,
doing everybody's job.
You're doing everybody's job, right? This was me. So here's the thing. You have to not work harder. You have to work smarter. You can't just be there putting your head down, working your tail off, burning the candles at both ends and thinking one day they're going to notice you. That's not how it works. So that's what I mean by healthy boundaries. So for me, every week I will go into my calendar. So like a week in advance, I block off time just for me, because how can I be good to my company, right, and serve them well if I'm not good to me? So I carve out time in the mornings to make sure that I'm fed and I have my breakfast and coffee, tea, whatever's your thing, because I don't want to go up in the wrong mood. I make sure lunch is blocked off. And if I'm working from home, I'm going to get up and walk around. I'll go outside and get some vitamin D. I'm not going to let you schedule me back to back to back to back to where I can't even get up and use the bathroom.
Right.
Do that, right?
When you show up as authentic hangry Jay,
right.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Exactly. So you got to have those healthy boundaries, and there's all kinds of examples of what that looks like. But you have to establish those in the workplace. Otherwise, you are going to be, burnt out and wondering, why is it that everybody else is getting promoted and I'm not? Well, they're dumping everything on you because you don't know how to say no. So having those healthy boundaries are important.
You're doing the way they getting promoted.
Yes. I can't tell you how many times that happened to me. I've trained probably 3 or 4 people for promotion. I trained them and then they got promoted over me.
Jay.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta have, now mine were more attitude, okay? But you also have to have those healthy boundaries, right? And so that comes into place. Last couple, emotional intelligence. I just did a whole series on that, April. I did a series on what's called emotional aftertaste. So how do you leave people feeling once they interact with you? Once they have an encounter with you, how do they feel? That's emotional aftertaste. It's the same thing as, okay, I have this water here.
So good. You go ahead and take your time with that. That is so good.
This is everything. This will make or break your career. This will make or break whether or not you're even considered for a promotion. Are you easy to do business with? If I'm dealing with you and I come to you and I'm like, oh my God, I got what I needed, but it was so difficult. It was like pulling teeth, or she was so rude, or, she was very short with me. She talked down to me. That's emotional aftertaste. And so we have to have what's called emotional intelligence. And this is across the board, whether you're in corporate or whether you're running your own business. Your customers need to feel a certain way when they're done interacting with you. And if they don't, they're not coming back. It's the difference between shopping in Walmart or Nordstrom's. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Right? You have a certain expectation, and I'm not knocking Walmart, but you know what you're going to get when you go into Walmart.
You know what you're going to get. Why you're not going to expect.
Exactly.
You're not expecting. You expect less.
Exactly. Well, tell me this. Could you walk in Walmart and tell them to bring me every brown shoe that you have in a size 7?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, look at you like you crazy, right?
Like, what do you think this is, Nordstrom's?
Exactly. But you can go in Nordstrom's and say, I want in every color brown, I want a size 7. Every shoe you have in brown, I don't care if it's a tennis shoe, and they're going to do it for you.
Wow.
So my point is,
that's so good.
Emotional intelligence is important. And so I did a whole series on it. You can, if you go to my website, you can subscribe and you'll get dropped right into the series. So you go to
what's the website?
Wise Hat Consult, so wisehatconsulting.com.
Okay, thank you.
So if you go there, scroll probably about a quarter of the way down, there's a subscription section. You drop your email in there, and as soon as you subscribe, you'll be added. And then probably the second email you get from me is going to be about emotional intelligence, the whole series on that. It is so, so very important that we tap into who we are and how we leave people feeling when we interact with them. There's a whole quiz on it that I have on there as well, April. But
this is okay.
I give examples on what that looks like and how it shows up in the pillars of emotional intelligence. So uber important. That was my big issue. That was my Achilles heel, my fatal flaw, is I lacked emotional intelligence. And that was one of the reasons I was as talented as all get out, could run circles around everybody. My numbers were fantastic, but my attitude sucked. And it wasn't until now, God, thank God, he placed some very pivotal people in my life and my career who pulled me to the side and was like, let me have a conversation with you. Let's talk. We're not doing this, right? They took me under their wing and helped me. And the thing about it is I resisted at first, but then I became God was doing the work. I became receptive and I started trusting them and doing what they advised me to do, and things started turning. So lastly, this is one of my coined words. It's named after my book, April. You have to be a ambitious woman.
Ambitious. The book and the podcast.
Okay? Yes, the book and the podcast. And yes. So that is basically the word humble and ambitious put together. And a lot of times as women, what we tend to think is we do need to be humble. We need to show up to work, put our heads down, be quiet, don't say anything. Don't talk about ourselves, our accomplishments, how great we are, what we've done, because we think that's bragging. We think that's pride. And if you're Christian, that pride is a big deal, right? You're like, no, pride comes before the fall. I'm not falling down at this. No. Your company, even if you're an entrepreneur, you have got to let your customers know the value you bring to the table. Your company has to know the value you bring to the table. They're not just going to just recognize, oh, okay, April's a hard worker. They can see you working hard, but you have to be able to be comfortable enough to toot your own horn. And it's not out of pride, it's out of fact. So I always tell my clients, did you actually do that thing? Did you actually accomplish that thing? Did you actually save that company $20 million last quarter? Yeah, I did. Okay, it's a fact. It's not a brag. Let's talk about it, right? Don't be ashamed to embrace that. So being humble just means that you don't think less of yourself. You think of yourself less in the sense that you consider others. So let's make it clear. It's not that you think of yourself less to the point where you don't take care of yourself. Self-care is up here still, right? But you're considering others, but you're not afraid, the ambitious part, you're not afraid to speak about what you want to accomplish, what you have accomplished, and what you want for your career. So over my years, April, a lot of women who would report to me, they struggled. And that's how the book came. I was obviously my first client, but a lot of women struggled with that. They didn't want to articulate their value. We had to submit what was called accomplishments every quarter. And they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to put what they did.
Really?
Now, here's the problem. Your money's tied to that. Your bonus is tied to that.
Right.
Tied to that. Need not be upset if you don't want to talk about that and you don't get a bonus.
Right.
So I started helping women with it. It's a whole thing I do a whole series on how to write effective accomplishments and getting them into the pattern of what that looks like. So that you can get the bag.
Secure the bag, please.
Yes.
You've done the work, now secure the bag.
Exactly. Yep. So that's it. That's what I would tell my younger self or a younger woman on here just starting out. Those are the things. Those are the must-haves. If you think at all you're going to be successful, that's your foundation.
Right. And all of these, well, not all of it, but a lot of this is in the book. Is that correct? Or okay. So is there a workbook that goes with this book? Or just
no? Well, actually, yes, it is. So here's
really?
Here's the book right here. So this is the book, right?
Okay.
Kind of there you go. Inside of the book, I actually have a link. This page, let me see. There's a page where I tell people to go to download. Yeah. So page 27 of the book will tell them to go download a worksheet. And so
okay.
that website, I have the worksheet inside of the book, but it's small. So they can go to the website, download the worksheet, print it out, and then it kind of walks you through getting rid of the wrong habits, the wrong associations, the wrong thoughts, and replacing them with the right ones so that you can build the right foundation to be successful in the workplace.
Gotcha. Okay. So and they can order the book from your website, right?
Yes. If you go to wisehatconsulting.com, you can order it. It's also on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, but it's called Ambitious Woman. How to here, I don't know if you can see it. There we go.
Take a screenshot, y'all. Grab the screen right. Tilt it just a little bit. Right there.
Okay.
Right there. Perfect. Y'all get that screenshot right there. You know, Amazon's my best friend. So if you know, right.
Yeah. If you can purchase from Amazon. If you purchase from me, I will I personally autograph all the books if they come off my website. And I give you I have these like special bookmarks that I insert in there too. So your choice.
Okay. So y'all, Jay, this has just been amazing. This has been so helpful. Thank you for your transparency. Okay. Let's just go ahead with that, because allowing us, the way you walked us through this tonight, has allowed me like to see like this. From what Jay telling us, God has sure enough done his good work. I never would have seen you as the type of person that you have described. I mean, I know all of us have like, you know, some time issues and we be late from time to time, you know. No. But the rest of that, I wouldn't have guessed that. If they had told me that was Jocquise, I was like, no, you got her confused. That ain't the Jocquise I have.
April, I almost got fired for being chronically tardy. Like I was one, and it was nothing but a guy who rescued me from that. I didn't even know I had a foot out the door. They were about to fire me when I was just praying one night to God. I'm like, I know I need to change. I don't know where, I don't know how. And he started, well, the first thing he told me to do was to write a letter to my management and tell them, hey, basically, I'm paraphrasing, I've been a knucklehead and I've seen the light. And these are the changes I'm going to make from now on. And by the way, one of them is I'll never be late again. I want to change my shifts, that kind of thing. Right. And so I had to be at work at 9 o'clock. I would leave my house at 7. So it took me a couple hours because the traffic was so bad and I was always late. You know what God had me do? Get up at 5 in the morning. Okay. Get ready to go to work. I would get to work before 6 a.m. because now there's no traffic at 5 o'clock. There's nobody on the road at 5 o'clock. And I would sleep in the parking lot until 9 o'clock.
Jay.
That's what he had me. And here's
what's like, okay, I'm committed. Whatever God, you let me keep this good job. Let me show you. I mean, business.
And I didn't even know I was about to be fired. So the reason why he had me write that letter is what stopped me from being fired, April. That's the thing.
Girl.
So I write the letter. I show up.
You don't have to understand it to be obedient. All you got to just be obedient.
Yes, just do it. So I write the letter. I give it to them, and they were like, you could tell I took the wind out of their sails because they were about to fire me.
And like, who told her? Who told her?
Holy Spirit. Hello. So they were like, all right, fine, we'll let you, we'll let you change your shift. Oh, and I changed my seat too. Here's the thing about associations. That was the other thing too. I was in the call center at the time. So I was sitting in a row full of knuckleheads, for quite frankly. It was the party row, right? We didn't do any work. We had a good time and we took girl. So God had me, he said, come out from among them. It's a scripture. Come out from among them. And then the other one was bad company corrupts good character. Those are the two scriptures he gave me. I wrote the letter, it came in there. I said, I want to move my seat. And I changed my shift and I started sleeping in the parking lot until I got, from 5:45 to 9 o'clock.
Right.
Now imagine the pressure because now everybody on the road was like, well, who you think? You think you too good? You're moving.
Right. You can't sit with us no more.
Exactly. But I had to obey God because if I not done that, I wouldn't be 26 years later. I wouldn't have been.
Right? And what year was that? What year was that when you saw the light?
1998.
So it wasn't long. What, a year or two? You had been there a year or two?
I've been there a year.
A year.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So that's so number one. So that was just before I even got into management. That was that first job. Then fast forward April, I get into management. I'm showing up to work in my club clothes, girl. I'm trying to give you all a picture of the kind of the mistakes we can and what God can do on top of that. But I'm showing I'm
Jesus saves. Yes. You ain't got to stay in the shape that you're in.
You
don't
not
have to stay. God
You
can turn
do
this
not.
thing around. Jay right here is living proof, y'all. I would have never known this. Living proof that he can turn this thing around.
He can. Yes.
He'll
Yes,
give you insight, and don't even let them people fire you.
And then the last thing, I feel led to share this because it could be somebody on here who is just, I feel like, working just to the bone. You are doing too much. You're sacrificing your health, your sanity, your family. You are just overextending yourself. I'm going to tell you what happened. Let me see, I was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years into my career. There was a group of guys, and I talk about this in my book, but there was a group of guys who would go play that at the job, who would go play basketball for lunch. And young men, we're all in our 20s, we're young. So they would go play, I don't know what day of the week it was, but anyway, they would go play and they would come back. Well, one day when they came back, I hear this wailing, and it is nothing like hearing men cry, much less wailing. I was like, what is going on? Well, one of the gentlemen collapsed on the basketball court, 26 years old, died. Yeah, he had some kind of heart issue. Now, here's the point that I'm getting to, where if you're that person that's just overworking and all of that, let me tell y'all something. That happened at 12 o'clock. By 5 p.m., his desk was cleared and his work was reassigned. This man's body, I know, wasn't even cold in the morgue yet.
The same day.
The same day.
Before the end of the shift.
Before the end of his shift. So what I learned from that is, as much as you think you're irreplaceable, you're not.
You are not.
You're not. They may have some hiccups because you are the go-to person. It may be difficult, but they're going to get along without you.
They are going to find somebody else to do it.
Exactly. So guess what? You better put you first. You better take care of you. You better take care of your family, right? And if you're in a culture and an environment where you can't do that, then we need to have a conversation about, can you really do it and you just don't know how? Or do you need to be looking to get into another atmosphere? Because at the end of it all, somebody else is going to pick up that work. Life and work will go on. It's just, it is what it is. And I'm happy in the sense, not for his family, but I'm happy that I was exposed to that at very early on in my career. So when it did get real hard and I was trending in that area, I had that experience to reflect back on. Yeah. Yes, Latrell, and his job advertised. Yes. Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Eye-opening, still terrible nonetheless. Because, and it is what it is, right? That's what, that was years ago. So it's probably only gotten worse, Yeah. Now they don't care. They care that the job gets done. It doesn't matter to them who does the job, right?
Yeah. For those of us because I find great fulfillment in what I do, I'm passionate about what I do. It's the people that I'm helping that brings me that happiness and that joy. But ultimately, you got to understand these corporations are here to make money. Just like if you're an entrepreneur, you are here to make money. And if you're not, then what are you in business for? Right? Ultimately, now I'm not talking about nonprofits, but they still need money. To be honest, how can they be of service? They need money, right?
They need money.
It comes down to the bottom line. You're there to provide them with the service, and they pay you for that service. And if you can't be the person to provide them with that service, whatever wealth of knowledge you think you have and all that, it might die with you, right? But don't think that it's just going to be like, okay, they won't be able to get along. Somebody's going to replace.
They're going to figure it out. That's what we have to do.
Yes.
That's what we have to do in whatever situation.
Yep.
And I was just talking about this last week. It was a situation where I was trying to figure out how to make my schedule work with someone else's, because she had her boundaries set. She had good, healthy boundaries set. And because she had her boundaries set, I was going to have to figure it out.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to either have to get the service from somewhere else. As Latrell said, I'm going to have to pivot, or I'm going to have to do something. But guess what? If I really want it, if I really need the job done, I'm going to figure it out.
Exactly.
And they will too.
Yep.
They will too.
They will.
They're giving you the time off, right? They're giving you the vacation time. They're giving you the sick time, not for it to accumulate. Well, yeah, but not to be abused.
Right.
But to take that time for yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's put into place. The systems and the processes are put in place. You ain't got to go to all the things for the company, right? Now, if it's your company, it's different, but you still, in order to serve at your highest, it all comes back to taking care of yourself.
Yes, you have to take care of yourself. That whole, what is it? The thing that the stewardess says, we always refer to that, putting your oxygen.
Put your oxygen on before you try to help anyone else.
You've got to. Absolutely. I am no good as a wife. I'm no good as a coach. I'm no good as a director on my job if I'm not taking care of me.
Right.
And that's just it. Right. And so you have to, whatever that requires of you, like I gave the example of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to keep my job, whatever that looks like, that sacrifice is for your well-being.
Right.
And so think about, if I had not have made that sacrifice, then I wouldn't have had a job. Then, okay, if I don't have a job, how do I pay for my car? How do I pay for my rent at the time? How do I eat? You talked about hair products. My God, I would have been, how do I take care of my hair?
What am I going to do with my hair?
All those things, right? And so you have got to, I'm a big proponent. So here's the thing too. When you talk about boundaries, April, don't call me on Saturday and Sunday. Like I'm saying from a work perspective, it better be an emergency. And what I do, I'll give you guys an example. I establish the boundary. I have a work cell phone. I don't take it with me on the weekend. It's a mental thing for me. I need to unplug. So I leave it home. Now, I'm at a certain level of leadership where I understand I may need to take a call on the weekend. I'm not saying that I'm not, you can't call me. But what I am saying is you don't call me on that phone. I'll give you the number to the secret bat cave if it's an emergency so you can reach me, right? But for my mental well-being, I need to leave this device here so that when I'm spending time with my family, it's us. I'm spending time with my family. I'm not worried about what because then you're tempted to look at the email and do all these things.
Right. That's so good, Jay. That's so good.
So that's just a little gem on healthy boundaries.
Yeah. And it's the little things, right? It's little things. Doesn't take a whole lot of effort at all, but just being intentional.
Right.
And it could change your whole day.
Exactly.
Change your whole day, because you be out with your family, you get an email about something that you didn't even need to see today. You didn't even need to see that on Saturday. And now it has ruined your whole day.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So just being intentional. Latrell said keeping my work phone on 24/7 was killing me and preventing me from enjoying my family time. Yeah. So glad that you gave that part up, that you set those boundaries. And it helps us to be better, not just for us, but for those that are around us as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's not selfish.
And let me for a second, because I don't know why this keeps coming back to me. It must be somebody on here working really hard.
Go ahead.
These long hours. But I want to say this. I want to provide a different perspective about the person who's the first person in and the last person to go home. If you think that is the thing to get you noticed and it's going to give you all this notoriety, I want to give you an alternate view of what Some leaders will really think about that. So if you're there, you're working 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day all the time, we're not looking at you saying, oh, wow, look at her. She's working so hard. Like if you're doing this consistently, at some point, we begin to wonder, what's up with her performance? Why is it taking her 15 hours every single day to get work done that I'm seeing her peers do in 8 or 7 or 6?
Come on and help us.
What's up with that? Right? So now we're not looking at you like, oh, she's great. She's such a hard worker. We want to promote her. We're wondering,
why is it taking her so long?
Why is it taking her so long? Right? So I want to provide that alternative thought pattern to you, because that's the truth. That's really what's happening. And because if working hard simply was the thing to get you the visibility, the opportunities, and promotion, we all have them. We all have it. So obviously it takes more than that, right? And so for whoever this is, whoever's the one who's just like, I can't, I got to do this and I got to do that. And then you don't say no when you should be saying no. So now your plate is super full and you're burning the midnight oil. Your kids are asleep, your spouse is asleep, and you still on the computer. It doesn't take all of that.
Not a good look at all.
Right.
Not a good look. Right. Girl, do your work. Set your boundaries. Yes. Turn your brain off in prayer and go on to bed.
Yes. I love it, April.
I mean, come on. And that's why we start our day. We wait, pray, and plan so that God can give us the blueprint on how to prioritize that day. Yes. We talked about in the beginning how there is no work-life balance. We've got to prioritize these things, okay? Yes. So if y'all came in later, I need you to please go back and catch the replay, because this thing was good, even with our lightning round questions. Jay came out the gates swinging. And so, Coach Jay, we definitely can't let this be a one and done. We are going to need you back over and over and over again, because it's too good. It's too good and we need it. So what I need you all to do, the 8 of you all that are still on here, I need you to go to, where's it at? I need you to go to wisehatconsulting.com and get the Ambitious Woman. Go ahead and order that. So y'all can get your autographed copy, okay? I want y'all to have your autographed copy. Until y'all can get in the room with Coach Jay, okay? When y'all come to California and get in the room with Coach Jay, all right? But Jay, I'm so excited for you. So thankful to know you. So thankful for all the amazing things that God is doing for you and through you in this season. Just very, very thankful and excited. Thank you for your transparency. And I pray that God fills you back up with double everything that you've poured out to us on today.
Thank you, April. I appreciate you too. And I'm so glad that we stay, like you said at the top of this call, we stay connected. We've jumped in a group together and we stay connected. And so that is amazing how, and you just never know when your paths are going to cross. And
right. Like I had when we met in 2020, I was in Alabama. I had no idea.
You being California.
I had no idea that it would be, I would be down the street. No,
right.
I don't think I realized until we were about to move that you were, I think when I got the book, I did, and I saw your address and I was like, hold on, Jay's in California. Wait a minute. Like, yeah. So, just thankful. And I believe that this is just the beginning, okay?
I believe so too. We are going to have some fun with this.
It's time to go higher. It is time to go higher. And so, so we will be reaching out to see when we can get you back over here with the renewed and refined woman, so we can go higher, so the ladies can be helped. Ladies, it doesn't have to stop here on just Wednesday. Well done Wednesdays. It doesn't have to. Coach Jay is available for personal coaching. If you know that she's spoken to you tonight, whether you're live or on the replay, reach out. It's time for us. God is putting us at the right place at the right time, to get connected to the right people to help us, right? And help is obviously available to all of us. The help that Coach J needed those 24 years ago, right?
Right.
She has become the help. And so you don't have to stay in the state that you're in, okay? You don't have to stay there. If you still got that job, and even if you don't still have that job, going into the next one, when you know better, you can do better, right? So you may have let some of those old habits mess up the other one.
Right.
But you're able to, I believe if you're still here, you still have time on the clock to get it right.
If you have a pulse, you have a purpose.
Right. Come on, pulse and purpose. Okay. And so we don't want you to mess up this next one. So it's time to change your head. And what is head, Coach J?
Habits, associations, and thoughts.
It's time to change them, ladies. It's time to change them in every area of our lives. Okay. And so reach out to Coach J. Reach out to her. Get on her calendar. Get you to start your healing process. Okay. Yeah. Start the process. Start the process. And so I thank y'all for coming in the room tonight. Thank y'all for taking time out of your busy lives to come and spend some time with us tonight. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you share this, send it to somebody in their inbox or post it on your timeline. Send that YouTube link out to the people on your email list. Just share it, because I know that it wasn't just you that needed this. It wasn't just for me. So I know it wasn't just for you either. There's somebody else that you know that you're connected to that could use this tonight. So get them connected, okay? Get them connected. I love y'all, and I will see y'all back on these internet streets sometime later on in the week, okay? It's time for us to go higher, okay? It's time for us to go higher. Remember that it's a process to becoming renewed and refined.